I know we did the whole podcast and everything before, but we want to just come back and make sure we answer all of our friends and fans' questions before we jump off and cut off all the equipment and everything. So we did have a question from somebody.
Yes. So we have a question from Caro, who's one of my closest friends. I think we're cousins.
You're not sure?
Her cousin is married to my aunt. It's Spanish cousins, so we're Spanish cousins. We've been talking a lot more frequently these days.
Why?
Because we're home and quarantined.
Coronavirus!
But she actually had a question for us that she wanted us to discuss on the podcast.
Okay.
And it was, if we have any advice for couples who are moving in together, any tips, especially now with, being at home all the time and having limited space. But her kind of situation is a little bit unique because it was emergency moving in together. Like for us, it was very planned. We were dating for a long time. I moved to New York. We looked at different apartments. So we had it planned out. We had time to kind of go through everything and go through, our rules and what we wanted and our requirements. But for a lot of people, it's becoming kind of like an emergency thing where you have to, move in together with somebody, whether it be because of bills or because of safety, health safety. If you're living with someone who is an essential worker, you don't want to expose anyone. So a lot of people are moving into their partners' homes due to this.
Coronavirus!
So any tips that we might have, that was the question. Do we have any tips for couples who are going through that right now? So what do you think?
Oh, me first?
You first, of course, because I want to piggyback off of you.
You want to attack me if I say something
exactly.
I like.
I'm always going to come from a place of love and kindness, but if you, depending on what you say, then I can adjust my answer,
So tips. Pick your favorite pots and pans. Claim them early.
Okay.
I don't know how big their kitchen is, but, try to avoid each other when the other one's in the kitchen.
So you are attacking me.
Just some key tips, in areas that we have bumped heads.
Okay.
You gotta let some stuff go. Some stuff, that you haven't dealt with in the past. This person will probably be doing those things. So you'll have to know what that person does on a regular basis, and you'll see it as days go by, and you'll say, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Don't argue about every little thing. Don't bring up every little thing that annoys you, because it's just gonna make that person feel uncomfortable and not want you in their space.
Yeah.
I feel like our biggest issues are always the oatmeal pot. For those who have been listening to previous episodes know.
Mm-hmm. I think we're over the oatmeal pot, though.
I think so. After you made oatmeal the other day and didn't wash the pot, I think we're over it now, right?
No. Anyways, let's stay on track.
I think the main thing, though, aside from, understanding what spaces, are appropriate for you to barge into and get involved with, having fun. Don't stop having fun with each other just because you guys see each other all day and are in the same space all day. You're going to annoy each other, of course. It's going to happen inevitably. If you spend a lot of time with anybody, eventually they're going to get annoying. But how you deal with that annoyingness, I don't know if annoyingness is a word.
We
but,
just made it a word.
Depending how you deal with that, determines how well you guys will fit together. As long as there's no major things that, it's a deal breaker for you.
Right. Like if somebody says, somebody that kind of threatens something that you've believed in, or, you're going to see different sides of people. And especially with everything going on, people are going to show their true colors. Unfortunately, a lot of those times it's stuff that we don't agree with, or something that bothers us, or hits us on a personal level. So if you do hit those points, it's like, wow, I really should, reevaluate my situation. But I feel like for us, if we had to move like an emergency kind of thing, we would have to move together without all the planning that we did. I think one of our biggest issues would have been communication, because, we've both been very, good about just being vocal and saying stuff, even if it's something that makes you uncomfortable or something that you didn't think you had to say. That's a big issue, assuming that you don't have to say something. because it's like, no, you do have to say, we're not mind readers. You know, you love this person and this person is your soulmate, but they can't read your mind.
Right.
So you have to be vocal and say, that bothers me. Like,
Right.
you know, if I'm in the bathroom, don't come to the bathroom, or do this or don't do that. Like, just say it in a way that, you know, it's coming from love and a place of you wanting to still be in that space together. Not like, oh my God, this is horrible, I can't do this anymore kind of thing. But like, you know, it's gonna be a work in progress. It's gonna be like, you have to learn each other. But I feel like now with people who are in those situations, like, it's a little bit tougher because it's like, I didn't choose this. So,
and I tell people this all the time when they're in relationships, and it's you know, this person didn't grow up the same way you grew up. So, you know, I don't know how old they are, but, you know, the 26 years, you know, that I wasn't with you, I was living my life this way. So, you know, for me to just change that little thing that you think is like just an annoying thing because you go like closing the shower curtain every day, you know, it's just something I've never done. You know, I just get out the shower and go. So yeah, just keep in mind that there are things that that person will do that will annoy you. But just remember that person has been doing this for, you know, years before you got into this person's house or started living with this person. So just keep that in mind before you abrupt over something that could have been simple and just let it go.
Yeah. So. And understanding too, maybe asking instead of saying, stop doing this, or I don't like this, saying, why do you do this thing? Or, you know, kind of like trying to figure out what's going on before just kind of saying, this is what I like and this is what I expect.
That feels less like a complaint and more like, I just want to understand why you do these things.
Yeah, like why would you just clean your oatmeal pot? I just don't understand.
And then she made oatmeal and she realized why I don't clean the oatmeal pot right away. But it's fine.
I slipped up.
Oh,
like
you forgot. Oh.
I was supposed to clean
I saw it
the
there
oatmeal
that
pot.
night and I was like, she's not going to clean it tonight.
Oh my God.
And I waited till the morning and I woke up in the morning.
And you didn't remind me because you wanted to win. But here's the thing.
To see it. I wanted to see if you did it.
I made oatmeal and I was like, I got to clean this because I complain about this all the time. I got to clean it. And then I forgot to clean. That was God. That was like, I don't know what kind of prayer you said.
Shout out to Janae with the affirmations. You know, this is what I've been asking for.
But I was like, damn it. And then he took a picture of it.
I took a picture to remember the moment that she made oatmeal and didn't clean the pot.
I just can't. But, you know, that's like, I have to let it go now.
It's over.
Because I slipped up.
I
made a mistake.
You understand what I'm
fine.
going through. She understands my struggle now.
I just... I hate that I lost that battle. It was like my only like serious thing, and I lost. I lost to you, who always win. Like, you always win. I wanted to win that one, but it's fine. I slipped up.
It was close. I was waiting. I was like, she's, you know. Then you like started to get tired. You went straight to bed. I was like, I got her. I got her.
Whatever. But yeah, if you're in a situation that you have to move in with, you know, your partner, or even move back home, you know, for a lot of people, that's an uncomfortable situation where you've had your space and you have your own rules and you have to move back and adapt to somebody else. Just keep an open mind, you know, make sure that you're communicating, make sure they're being vocal, and make sure that you're also being gentle and kind, because this is not the time to be, you know, annoying about little things. Like, there's bigger stuff going on in the world, and of course you want stuff to be tidy, or you want, you know, your own space sometimes. But if you don't vocalize that and say, this is what I would like and this is why, then you can't really complain about it.
Right. Exactly.
And if you're moving into somebody else's house and you have big demands, then I would probably say maybe you should, you know,
find some other options.
Because like, somebody's allowing you to come in their home, and as much as somebody loves you, like, if I had my own space and somebody just like out of emergency has to move in, I'm gonna be a little bit on the defensive, like, because this is my house and I'm doing you a favor. Right. So it's like, you know, pick your battles.
Yeah.
Pick
wisely.
your battles.
Pick them wisely.
Pick them wisely. This is not the time to be arguing about stupid little stuff.
Right.
But even like trying to pick a show, that can turn into an argument. Like trying to pick what to eat or what to watch. Like just, you know, be aware of these situations. And when you feel your blood rise, and just be like, you know what? Remember the podcast. Remember what I said.
Right.
this is not the time.
If you find yourself in that situation, feel free to text us.
yeah, call me.
And if anybody else has questions, Kato, appreciate the question. I hope we answered it, the best as we could, and hopefully that you
Best
find
of
this.
luck to you guys.
Yeah, good luck. We just found happiness right before we moved in with each other.
Wait.
So, no.
We were together for a long time.
I'm just kidding. What has it been? This is 7 years this year?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Our anniversary is coming up.
Oh, no. We're going to be like in the house, stuck in the house still? May? All right. So, yeah, hopefully we answered your question. If anybody else has a question, feel free to ask us. Our number is open, 917-565-9685. Probably be a little more responsive now that we're quarantined in this house. But feel free to reach out. I'm sure we'll get back to you. And if, if it's something we can answer, we'll definitely answer it on the podcast. If it's something personal you'd rather us not talk about, we'll leave you anonymous. So, yeah.
I really like our relationship questions, though, because I feel like we have so much fun.
Right.
It's like the moment we stop having fun is the moment that, like, everything is going to...
Right.
Not that it will happen, but if we ever stop having fun, that's just gonna be, because that's like the biggest part of a relationship. Like,
I mean, sometimes I don't know if I'm going too far, because sometimes
I'll let you know.
Sometimes you're like, you just take everything as a joke all the time.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about being vocal, sometimes I just laugh and say like whatever. Sometimes I'm like, I'm serious, like I'm not joking, and then you're like, oh, okay,
all right, let's get serious then. And then you're like, all right, I can't do it.
I know that you have a couple layers, like you have to try it a couple more times to see if I'm actually serious, and then it's like, okay. But that's another thing that I've learned, so it's like, I know I don't take it to heart.
Right.
Like before I used to be so angry, and it's just a waste of energy, because you're just like, oh, I thought we were joking. Like, I told you we weren't joking, and you still thought we were joking. So I really enjoy answering relationship questions.
Yeah, I mean, if we can answer questions based on our experience, I mean, those are the best questions, because they'll be more elaborate and we can give examples. If it's something we can't answer, of course, I'm not going to just answer your question just because you asked it. If I can direct you to somebody who can, we'll do that as well. Don't forget to check out episode 49 with Janae Brown. It'll be up at the same time as this video, so stay tuned. Check us out. We're going to be on YouTube.
Check it out.
I don't know. We're going to put it on IG.
We'll put it everywhere.
It'll be everywhere, especially on your favorite podcast listening program that you use. So